I struggled all through school. The last time I took an English class, I got a fail. And my English teacher said, Lisa, you have to be the weakest writer that I've ever met in my entire life. I recommend you get a desk job and you never speak in public. I look at my life, and for 18 years, I wouldn't touch a microphone. I wouldn't do anything near speaking. As much as I love speaking, I was afraid, say afraid.
Questions vary. They were all over the place. And I began doing mentor sessions. I thought, I really can't answer a person's question in a text or in a note or even in an email. So I started doing a few mentor sessions, guiding people. Then the few became a few dozen. Then the few dozen became a few hundred. And over the years, I did hundreds of mentor sessions with people. And I found a pattern. That they were all at the core struggling with common issues. That there were these inhibitors, these patterns in their way of thinking and behavior that caused them to be stuck, that caused them not to know how to move forward. And I want to share these with you today. First inhibitor, you're not that special. Here's the thing. We may like to think of ourselves as special. Okay, so if I'm special, then that means you're not special.
And people are very, 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 very tough. And it turns out that if you face things that you can put up with a lot more than you think you can put up with, and you can do it without becoming corrupted. And she did recover quite fully as a consequence of her own machinations, because she figured out what was wrong with her and then took the necessary steps to fix it, which is nothing short of a bloody miracle as far as I'm concerned. And anyways, part of the cat bit is I actually start by talking about our dog, who actually died about a year ago, but he's still alive in the book. I let people know, because dog lovers love dogs, and if you love cats, then they think you don't like dogs, and then they think they don't like you. So I also point out at the beginning of the chapter that, if you want to pet a dog on the street, that's okay too, so you don't have to get up in arms about it. But the idea is that, you have to be alert when you're suffering. You have to be alert to the beauty in life, the unexpected beauty in life. And that's kind of what I was trying to get across with the idea of the cat. There's this cat that lives across the street from us called Ginger, and Ginger's a Siamese cat. And cats really aren't domesticated, technically speaking. They're still wild animals, but they kind of like people. God only knows why, but they do, And so Ginger will come wandering over, and our dog looks at her, but they're friends, and she rolls over on his back, and Seiko used to, nose her a bit, and then she'd kind of mosey over and let you pet her if she was feeling like it that day. And you have to look for that little bit of sparkling crystal in the darkness when things are bad. You have to look and see where things are still beautiful and where there's still something that's sustaining. And you narrow your time frame, and you be grateful for what you have, and that can get you through some very dark times, and maybe even successfully if you're lucky. But even if unsuccessfully, then maybe it's only tragic and not absolute hell. And you can do that, in the worst situation. You can make it only tragic and not hell. And there's a big gap between tragedy and hell. There's nothing worse at a deathbed than to see the people there fighting. The death is bad enough, but you can take that, as terrible as it is, and make it into something that's absolutely unbearable. And maybe I think, and this is sort of what I closed the book with, is this idea is that if we didn't all attempt to make terrible things even worse than they are, then maybe we could tolerate the terrible things that we have to put up with in order to exist. And maybe we could make the world into a better place, and it's what we should be doing and what we could be doing, because we don't have anything better to do.
Here's the big challenge of life. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. That's the challenge. And of course, the other side of the coin reads, unless you change how you are, you'll always have what you got. I have found in my experience that income does not far exceed personal development. Now, sometimes income takes a lucky jump, but sure enough, unless you grow out where it is, it'll usually come back where you are. Life has strange ways. If somebody hands you $1 million, best you become a millionaire quickly, so you get to keep the money. Otherwise, sure enough, it'll disappear. Somebody once said, if you took all the money in the world, divided it up equally among everybody, it would soon all be back in the same pockets. Incredible. Success is something you attract, not something you pursue. Success is looking for a good place to stay. So instead of going after it, you work on yourself. Personal development. See, the major question to ask on the job is not what are you getting? The major question to ask on the job is what are you becoming? See, the big question is not what am I getting paid here? The big question is what am I becoming here? Because true happiness is not contained in what you get. Happiness is contained in what you become. So that's our major subject for tonight, personal development. Of all the assignments Mr. Schoaf gave me at age 25, this was probably the most difficult. In fact, I'm still working on this one. I think it's an unending challenge to see what you can become.
If I'm special, then that means you're not special. Well, or if you're all special, then nobody is special. The other thing is, when you think of yourself as being special, it kind of means that you're separate from everyone else. You are unique. You know, it's interesting. I'm a criminal justice professor, and obviously my background is criminology. We found that people who commit crime, chronic crime, those people that commit crime over and over and over again, they think they're special because the laws and the rules don't apply to them. The laws and the rules are for everybody else. I'm special. What else is really interesting is that those who think of themselves as special become extremely self-focused. I am so focused on myself and me that I make my problems special, my pain is special, and my suffering is special. Nobody knows how I feel because I am so special that I hurt so differently. And when you feel like that, there are higher rates of depression and you have higher rates of anxiety because I am so unique. But what I found is when you think that you are that special, you feel alone in the world. You can't get through it. Nobody understands you. You're not that special. And do you know what that means? You're not alone in the world. When I was a special agent, I was exposed to the events of September 11th, 2001. I worked out of the United States field office in New York City, and I went to work that day at the World Trade Center. So I was there from when the first plane hit to the second, to the collapse of the first tower and the second tower. Now, what was interesting, there was a moment when that was all happening, that exposure to see all those people suffer and all those people that I couldn't help or save. And what got me through that really tragic event is I understood I wasn't that special in my pain, that other people had been exposed to what I had been exposed to, and that if they could get through it, I could get through it. I knew that I wasn't alone in the world.
We've
now,
always defined ourselves.
This is the number one thing I get asked about when people come to me. Evy, I need confidence. I'm not confident. How do you manifest confidence? I'm going to tell you something. Confidence is overrated. Overrated. Here's the secret. You don't need it. You don't need it. Think of it this way. I want to do something. Typically, people want confidence so that they can do something. So here's the thing I want to do. Here is me. I want to go from here to here. Ideally, I would go this way. Here's my achievement. Boom, I'm done. But do you know what we do? We say, wait, I need confidence to do this. So instead of going this way, I'm going to break my past and I'm going to go on this wild journey to find confidence. Where's this confidence? Confidence I need you. Where are you? Where are you? And then once I get it, then I can come back. You have done this such a windy road and gone all over the place that you either forget to go back, you get distracted, or you lose faith. And we never achieve what we want to achieve.
I stand here in my greatness. I own my light. I own my brilliance. I am bold. I am courageous. I'm perfect in my imperfection. This is my time. This is my time. I'm bright enough. I'm old enough. I'm young enough. I've experienced enough. I'm wise enough. I understand that I am enough.